Mick had a stroke 2.5 years ago, just over, which was a very devastating stroke and has left him severely disabled, both cognitively and physically, although he's made huge improvements. So my caring role has really been more physical in the beginning, when he was fully wheelchair bound, when he first came home, but then just helping him to get dressed, washed, remembering his tablets, actually sort of running his life, I suppose, for him. We do pay someone to help so that I can go to work, but most of what we pay her for is, well, she does a little bit of cleaning for me and ironing, and she also helps get Mick up twice a week. One of the days she takes him to a day centre, and then the other 2 days I get him up, but then she takes him to the gym and tries to do a gym session with him, because I don't have time to fit that in. I just started my new job within a school on the day that Mick had his stroke, his major stroke. So that was very difficult to begin with, because I immediately had, I think, about 6 weeks off, because I was travelling backwards and forwards from, first of all, Oxford and then Whitney, which was even further from here. And then gradually I sort of went back to work as he became an inpatient in the rehab unit. And I just did what I could. They were very good to me, I have to say. And then ultimately, I took some advice from the welfare people at work, and they sort of I said I just felt I couldn't do a full-time job. So they advised that 4 days a week was, absolutely maximum, and that's what I do. But it's term time only, so that helps. And they've been very flexible so far about sort of making sure just that I do my hours in the week. That's up to me, and I tend to vary my day off according to Mick's hospital appointments and anything else that we need to do. Normally, if the carer's coming to help get Mick up, she normally arrives about that time, and we have a bit of a chat. And we sort of do it a little bit between us. Sometimes she'll go and get his breakfast ready while I'm just, I'll sort of watch him get in the shower, and then sometimes she'll take over getting him dressed. As I said, a couple of mornings a week I get him dressed fully. She comes a bit later, and normally we just do a sort of bed wash, sitting on the edge of the bed rather than a full shower. But I have to help him get dressed completely, because one of Mick's biggest difficulties is executive planning, so he can't always just work out which arm to put in which sleeve, and obviously he's only got the use of one arm and the use of one leg, so he can get in quite a mess. We sometimes, if with more time, I sort of say you try, but I don't always have the time or patience for that. So normally if I might have got him downstairs for breakfast, or the carer would have done, and then normally I'm just rushing off to work and thinking, what time can I get in, so that what time can I leave. Normally the evenings aren't too bad. I mean, I tend to do all the food preparation. Mick would like to cook and does come in and sort of try to help at times, but realistically it's more me supervising. We have to get his medication out for the evening. Mick can get himself into bed, but it normally means clothes all over the place, and his foot splint just sort of still stuck in his trousers, so I normally have quite a bit of sorting out to do. I normally get his clothes ready for the next day when we go to bed. I can't say it's something that hasn't crossed my own mind, but I've ruled it out on the basis that going to work gives me something else in my life, something else to talk about to Mick, something to completely take me away from the caring role, which I think I could go slightly, I could feel really miserable or maybe a bit mad sometimes, with frustration, and this going to work gives me a chance just to get in my car, go to work, know that I'm, lucky that I'm not too far away, 5 or 6 miles. I could be home within about 20 minutes. It also has provided us with the income that we need, so that's been quite important. I know that I wouldn't have as much money if I was relying on a carer's allowance. So for me, it's worked really well. I do work in a school. I don't work holidays, although I do have to do a certain amount of hours during the holidays, but that's sort of flexible and I do it at home. Sometimes I sort of going back to work on Monday and I'm dreading slightly back to that sort of rush. I wouldn't do it if I couldn't have a day off a week. And I tend to have Wednesdays off, which means I go to work Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday is mixed day, or other things that we need to do. But sometimes we do something nice, or we go to a hospital appointment quite often, that kind of thing. But we normally go for a coffee, and I just feel it breaks up his week and mine. But I do find work very rewarding, and I wouldn't want to give it up.